Hi there.
Hi, welcome back to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
So you may hear a little bit of background noise or neighbors mowing. So I don't know if that's going to pick up on the mic, but just so you know, that's what's going on. We've seen a lot of technological advances recently in listing for online platforms. eBay has brought out their new AI tool, which will help you fill in the description. There's a card listing tool that will, identify the card based on your image. But there's a lot of other stuff going on out there. And I saw a video yesterday, and unfortunately, I don't know the guy's name or his channel. It was
auto list.
Yeah, like YouTube just threw it in there, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this because it kind of fits what I sell. And it kind of got my brain racing about, like, where is this technology going and what is it going to look like for all of us smaller sellers that maybe aren't computer programmers. Maybe we don't have access to those same tools, or maybe we have to up our skill set so that we do have those tools. So you were talking about, like, how Posh requires you to share
and like to constantly like things and to send offers on the likes, and it's like that would be a full-time job in and of itself, is to keep up with like the social media presence of your Posh store.
So there's actually a couple of companies out there that have bots that they've designed that will do all that work for you.
Yeah.
I was watching another person. They were talking about the fact that they have a pricing tool that they utilize with their Amazon store that will allow their store to stay in the buy box, which if again, we are not Amazon sellers, but having the ability to get your item in the buy box is key. I've heard up to 95% of items that are sold on the platform are sold out of that buy box.
Yeah, and Mercari has the smart pricing tool built into their program, and they'll automatically lower your price to whatever they think your price should be. To a certain point, you tell it, like, yes, you can mess with the price. If it's a $15 item, you can go down to $12. So they'll do that automatically. But yeah, it's that same kind of thing, that the technology is using the smart pricing.
Based on, whatever
their metrics are.
Yeah. So I had looked into what type of automated listing services are out there. There are people that will do your listings for you, a virtual assistant type of thing. There's also some software that's being developed that's out there for ball cards. So you got your baseball cards or maybe your Pokemon or other type of trading cards, and they're utilizing the AI, recognizing what the card is, and basically building your entire listing for you. This person that I saw their video from is utilizing the same type of technology to generate listings for postcards. So
ding, 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 got your attention.
Right. Now I'm dialed in. Now I need to know, how is this working? What's your plan? What's your background on this? And as I'm watching through the video, the guy talks about the fact that he really doesn't know anything about postcards. He's been selling video games, and now he's transitioning his business over to postcards exclusively because he's developed this software, this tool. And this is his software. This isn't a off-the-shelf type of product. It's not available to anyone else in the marketplace. It's his. He owns it. He's developed it. And he's talked about how he did 38,000 listings last year. Now, I did the math. It's 104 listings a day. When I list postcards, realistically, I'm listing 30 to 40. That's all I can really pull myself that attention span to do.
Well, and that's like full-time listing from,
It takes me, I would say, 3 to 4 hours to do 30 to 40 listings. So I'm realistically, it takes me about 6 minutes a listing. Obviously, I could up that. I could get to that 100 if I wanted to list for
longer hours.
10
and
hours.
His wife will not allow that.
So it really got me thinking. He talked in his video about his pricing model. Because he doesn't know about the cards, he's not taking time to do the price comps. He's pricing them all at the same price. So I'm watching his video. I'm going, I don't have access to his technology, as well as I don't have the skill set currently to mimic that. So I need either somebody else to bring it onto the marketplace, or I need to learn how to program a computer, which from
I feel like
zero,
it's a little late in the game to become a computer programmer. I think you could probably do it if you wanted to, but we kind of have our plate full at the moment.
We so do stay busy.
Maybe we can put a pin on becoming a computer programmer at the same time as running a full-time business.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So there's certainly a challenge there. And it made me think, what does that mean for someone like me who's doing it the old-fashioned way? I scan the item in, I create my own title, I create my own, item specifics.
And you compare it to other items.
I do price comps so that I can make sure that my item is both competitively priced and profitable. Because pricing every item in my store at the same price means that the items that are worth more, I'm going to lose money on. The items that are worth less
aren't going to sell.
So that does put you into an interesting dynamic in that. And for people that are not ephemera sellers, this is still applicable.
Absolutely. You can say the exact same thing about jewelry, which is what I do, or, about video games, or about whatever it is that you sell. If the market is changing on how we can list, it's good to at least be aware that things are changing on the horizon. So I think that it does apply to all resellers, on all the platforms, because there are those programs that are out there that do share your items on Poshmark, and if you're not on board with the latest technology, you're going to get left behind. What does that look like for us?
Right. So the two things that came to mind, the big questions that need to be answered, is what does this mean for category and product pricing? And what does this mean for us as small sellers, and how do we adapt, and how do we stay competitive?
And how do we set ourselves apart?
Right. So first of all, what do I think it means for the platform and for the category? So I think that we will see a lot more of these types of products coming into the marketplace. If you're a postcard dealer, there are over 1 million postcards listed on the platform. When I do research, there are certain postcards that there's 200, 300, 400 of them. Sometimes they're starting on an auction at 99 cents. Sometimes they're listed for $1.99 free ship. You can't compete in that space if you're listing them and it takes you 6 minutes to do a $2 postcard sale. You can't. I mean, if you do the math, that's 10 listings an hour. You're going to do $20 an hour in sales after eBay takes their 15% or something. I mean, literally, you're going to end up making less than minimum wage if you're selling low value cards for $2 a piece.
Right. The problem is that with so many other categories as well, in order to get like the great pieces at the low price, you have to buy it all, right? And then you are left with a bunch of low, because you have to have the low stuff if you want to sell the high stuff, and get it at a good deal.
So that's, again, we're kind of shooting off into a different direction, but our sourcing model is that we buy collections. That's why our store is Curious Collection, is because we buy collections. We don't pick. We typically will go into a situation and we'll buy an entire category, an entire collection, an entire, sometimes an entire store.
Right.
And that's how we acquire our inventory. And it helps because it drives our costs down. So our input cost a lot of times on items is a dime, a nickel. It's pennies on the dollar, because we've invested hundreds or thousands of dollars into that buy. So, and again, for us, you do have to monetize those low value items. Having a $1.99 postcard and then throwing it in a dumpster because we can't make any money on a $1.99 postcard, listing it on eBay, doesn't work for us. So we do utilize other alternative methods. We've sold on Whatnot again, and I'm not saying that these models are perfect for everyone. And I understand if you don't want to sell on Whatnot, you don't need to. Like, there's other places to sell. You could bulk list them onto eBay as a single listing and just say 1,000 chrome postcards and start it at a $50 auction or something, and you will guaranteed sell that item. Because the cost is so low that any dealer will buy it in hopes that you miss something of value.
Right.
Or, maybe somebody who's utilizing one of these tools will buy it because they know that if they run it through their system.
Right. They just need quantity.
Right. They just need to feed the machine because they're hypothetically charging you $10 on a 10-cent card. They could theoretically take $3 for it and still make money because they only have 10 cents invested, and it's only their time of pulling, not listing, that's generating income for them. So I see that it's going to be complicated, for sure,
because there's so many layers to it.
Right. The platform, I think, is going to end up getting overrun with common product. And what's going to happen with that? Well,
brings the price down.
Part of the value in listing items online is the time that it takes. That actually increases the price. As you get more and more of those common items, it's going to drive down the value.
Sure.
You're going to have, postcards selling for 99 cents free shipping, and the person that listed it makes a nickel. I mean, I know it sounds outrageous, but there are people that are selling under this model currently. You cannot compete if you're a postcard dealer and people are selling their product for a nickel profit.
No.
So that's one challenge, is that your low value common items are going to go to near zero.
Well, and then it's, for one thing, it's not available across the board to everyone. But even if it does become available, then again, like, okay, now you've got a new product that you have to learn to use, and that's going to take time and energy and money, right? Because we're not computer programmers. We're not building the system, which means that we have to buy the system from someone else, and is that system that was built for them, is that going to work for us and our business? And because again, we're not building the system, so it's not built to the specifications that our business would need it to be built for. There's a lot that goes into it. It's no longer the good old days of eBay where you can just list your stuff and let it sell.
Right. So again, your competition is developing a skill set that you may not have, and they're utilizing tools that you don't have access to, making it all the more challenging to stay competitive. So how do you stay competitive?
Right.
So we were talking about it this morning, and I think the first and foremost thing that we can do is to continue. We've been talking about it for 6 months. Continue to try to source items that are unique
and exceptional,
and have a level of rarity that will ensure that you are the only person on the platform to sell it.
Right. But then also to identify it for not only what it says it is, but what people are going to search for to find it. So like with his postcards, like you don't just take whatever it says on the front of the postcard,
You're going to give away
all your secret sauce.
All my secret sauce.
I'll let you give away your secret sauce.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to give away the secret sauce on how I get postcard sales.
Well, I'm just saying you have to be able to identify what you have and then, place it in front of the buyers and so that they can find it. When I have my jewelry sales, I don't just say that, like, okay, so this right here is, an emerald, right? So it's not just an emerald necklace or a green stone necklace, right? I'm testing it. I know that it is, and that's in my pictures, is that it's a tested, genuine, natural emerald. I'll put the size of the stone, how many carats it is, and I'm going to describe it in a way that is going to make it completely, like, you can't pass it up. right? Because it's this wonderful thing. So that's kind of, an AI is not going to be able to do that. Looking at a picture of this, they're not going to be able to, they're just going to say greenstone necklace, in a silver tone chain or whatever.
Right. Or it could possibly misidentify it if it did.
Absolutely.
So at least in the early stages, we are in the early stages of AI. I am certain that AI is going to make tremendous leaps over the next decade.
I know, they're going to be way better than me.
Right. So again, moving forward, we're going to do a better job at sourcing. Mm-hmm. We're going to ensure that we have, found those exceptional items.
Right.
So we're going to source better.
We're going to describe better. Right. We're going to, take the photographs better. We're going to do everything within our power to set ourselves up, including customer service. And
yeah, one of the challenges, this video that I saw, the person said that they had listed 38,000 postcards in 1 year. I assume as they continue to develop their software, they will get faster. Mm-hmm. They will be able to get more listings up, and they will continue to build that bank. The challenge, and again, we're at 12,000 listings. We've been building this business for going on 5 years. Mm-hmm. When you get more inventory, there are certain challenges associated with that. But can you go and answer every question? If you have 100,000, 200,000 items, can you quickly, and when I say quickly, I mean within half an hour, mm-hmm. can you quickly go and find that item, respond to that question, and get them an answer immediately?
Right. And some of those questions, like with the jewelry questions or with the postcard questions or whatever your niche is, those people know a lot. And they're expecting you to have the answers that, that they would expect a professional to have.
Right. And serious collectors are serious collectors. Mm-hmm. We've actually interacted with some people that wrote the book on that category. So
yes.
if you have written the book and you're a serious hardcore collector, you know the product in and out, and mm-hmm. the person you're dealing with, you're hoping, is on the level that you are. Unless, and I'm sure that there are people out there that don't know anything about their category, and, mm-hmm. They're perfectly happy with that. They do flat pricing, and, that serious collector is the one that's going to find all those hidden gems and pull them out, and then they're going to, add them to their collection or resell them on their own. Mm-hmm. But, you do have to know your categories. And that's one of those things. If you're selling modern, common items, barcoded items, maybe these things don't apply. Mm-hmm. But for vintage and antique and collectible items,
I think that that's how you learn, though, is by doing those comps. If you're just taking your postcards and you're just scanning 100 postcards every day, and the computer system is just listing it, whatever it is, whether it's postcards, jewelry, whatever. If you're not doing those comps, if you're not learning all of the things that go into it, like with postcards, there's linen postcards and there's white border and there's, all of the things that go into it. If you're not doing those comps, then you're not learning the things that go into it. And mm-hmm. then you're not able to recognize what it actually is. Right. And you're just losing so much of the integrity of the piece.
Right. So my concern is that it could become a race to the bottom mm-hmm. across the entire category when people are competing at that level. That, I don't care if I've got 10,000 postcards and I could list them all today and sell them at $5 a piece.
Right. We're going to be getting our money. So,
right.
And
what do I care if it was worth 200, if I sold it for $5? Do I care?
Right. As long as you get the sale and you're getting your margins, but then at the same time you're going, but that piece was something incredible, and right. you just sold it for $10, and now I have a similar piece and I know what it is, and I'm saying, but it's not a $10 postcard. This is a $100 postcard because of this, that, and the other. Like, I know the genre, so I can right. see the value in this card. And now other people, when they are shopping for a postcard, they're going, well, somebody else sold it for $10, so why should I give you 80?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are unfamiliar with the category, take a look at some of those sold postcard, especially the early postcards. I was recently doing a comp on an item, and I found a comp on a similar product, but it wasn't the one I had, unfortunately. But it had sold for $348 for a single postcard. So, and then, just 2 weeks ago, I sold a collection of postcards. It was from the UK. They were RPPC postcards of a golf course.
Mm-hmm.
6 cards sold for $180. So
right. So it does.
I'm not saying
there
that,
are real
right,
postcard sales.
Right. I'm not
just
saying
like
that
any
because
niche.
everyone should be selling postcards. I think no one should sell postcards except me. But there are real dollars out there to be had in every category. You just have to have those exceptional pieces.
Yeah. So you have to set yourself apart. But you also have to be aware of all of these new technologies that are on the horizon, because reselling, it's changing.
It is changing very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it, again, like I said, I watched this video yesterday, and I'm kind of shook by it. I'm a little bit unnerved. I can kind of see some holes in what's going on right now with the plan. But as that develops, it is certainly very concerning. And I think it's something that we should all kind of keep our ear to the ground and see where things are going and try to stay ahead of the curve. There's, one category we had talked about today that I think that this type of technology could really dominate, and that's the print ad category. Mm-hmm. When I pull print ads, I pull an entire year at a time. And everything in that year goes together in one file. And it would be nothing for a computer to take a look at the image, identify the product, put a title on it. When I do my print ads, I price them all the same price. Mm-hmm. And if you could do 1,000 print ads in a day, no one is going to be able to compete with you on price.
Right.
Or listing volume. Mm-hmm. And there's one big print ad dealer that has over 100,000 listings. Me with my 1,000 listing store, I'm never going to be able to catch up to that guy. He's got a couple of decades ahead of me, listing in this manner, in the old school, the old fashioned way. But given some type of technological advantage, you could end up being the 200,000 print ad listings
in a very short period of time.
Right. And, you might be able to dominate that category even.
Well, and then it really is just a numbers game, just because of the sheer volume that you have, and then okay, so now because it's taking so much less time, it wouldn't be nothing to take $1 off the price because, I've got way less input cost because my time is a huge input cost, right? So you could then afford to lower your price and be at the bottom, and you also have the highest amount of listings, so you're going to get those repeat customers and you're going to get those multi-quantity orders because you've got it all.
Right. Yeah. It really is the Walmart model, and so that's the question is, as a small seller, as a 1,000, or there's some people that are running 6-figure businesses with just a couple hundred listings. How do you compete with Walmart when Walmart decides that they want to dominate your category? When Walmart moves in and says, well, we've got 1 million products and we're going to sell them at the cheapest price. You got to find a way to diversify against that. So it is certainly a concern. It is certainly an area that we definitely need to watch and try to stay on top of as much as possible. So I want to throw that out to you guys. What are you seeing? What are some applications that you're using, or some different tech that's helping you?
Right, to set you apart, to give you a leg up when you can't be left behind anymore. You have to change. There has to be it's just the old model doesn't work
Right,
the way that
right.
it used to.
Right. And again, if you are just a hobbyist seller and you're only selling 5 or 6 items, you know, obviously this stuff is not, you're not going to spend, you know, days or hours
or hundreds of dollars in
right.
investing into
Right.
technology.
Right.
To,
but for the professional reseller, for the people that like us are doing this as their only income source, you know, what are you using out there? What types of things are you trying to use to either get an advantage on your competition or just to keep up?
Yeah.
Please throw that down in the comments area. I would love to hear the different types of tech that you guys are using.
Yeah, whether it's cross-listing tools or, you know, those like I said, Posh I know has stuff available. I don't know what it is, but it can like help share and stuff.
You haven't done much research on it, but we know that it exists. We know that it exists. We're not computer programmers.
No,
so
we're
again,
not.
We're not going to get into the weeds on all the different.
But I'm curious as to what's
minutia.
out there. So, like, if you guys are using stuff, then you know, share with the class. Let us know what's out there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is that either, you know, we can be lone wolves out there in the wilderness, or we can work together. And I would much rather work together as a group, and we can all succeed, rather than have that one person with that special tech that's run away with the entire business model.
We say it all the time. We're better together.
Absolutely.
You know, so let us all be better together.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you guys being there. I appreciate all the comments, likes, subscriptions.
Yeah, we do. We enjoy you guys so very much. Yeah. So thank you so very much. And good luck to you guys out there.